Fargo usually begins its seasons at a simmer. The spectator is aware that violence is imminent because of the well-known opening disclaimer, which is taken verbatim from the Coen brothers' original masterwork and reads, "At the request of the survivors, and out of respect for the dead." Creator Noah Hawley has adhered to this format in turning Fargo into an anthology series. Fargo seems to be regressing after straying progressively from its inspiration, Joel and Ethan Coen's 1996 neo-noir thriller about the brutal dismantling of a criminal scheme in Minnesota and North Dakota. The show has primarily been a regional criminal drama, with period details throughout the previous few seasons, interspersed with allusions to Fargo and other Coen brothers productions. The previous season, which took place in the gangland Kansas City of the early 1950s, most commonly tipped its fedora at Miller's Crossing. Now, in 2019, we open in Minnesota, a modern enough environment for the politically connected to strut around with assault rifles for Christmas photographs. The unlucky opening of the new episode is a reference to the finale of Fargo, in which Frances McDormand's character, pregnant small-town sheriff Marge Gunderson, converses philosophically with Peter Stormare, a devout pancake enthusiast, in the back of her squad car. Here, however, the victim is Dorothy Lyon, Juno Temple, better known as Dot, who has been arrested for tasing a police officer during a brawl at the middle school board meeting. The cop is Deputy Indira Olmsted, Richa Morjani, of the Scandia Police Department. Olmsted is unfazed by Dot's assertion that her victim was in the wrong place, wrong time. And it seems that she is correct in that regard. She asks, "What's the world coming to?" and then replies, paraphrasing Gunderson, "It's a beautiful day." These are the worst moments of the TV show Fargo, glibly referencing a scene that evaluates the morality of all the needless sorrow that has transpired for, in Gunderson's words, a little bit of money. Gunderson's lament in the film is followed by a gory and mind-numbing series of events that emanate from a ransom conspiracy. However, Olmsted is scoffing at a PTA controversy that culminated in an unintentional tasing, which adds little significance to the scene other than paying yet another Coen's tribute to an episode that is rife with them. Hawley delivers a scene in the season premiere that is lifted straight from the movie's daytime kidnapping, which plays on the silly and humorous nature of a housewife trying to avoid two amateur kidnappers. While Dot and poor Jen Lundegaard share many features, Dot is far more capable, and Jen Lundegaard's frantic dread was largely played for laughs. Dot and Jean share nothing in common other as their Midwest home hobby of knitting while watching talk shows. When Dot worried that her fingerprints would be recorded in a national database during a previous scenario in the police station, we were given an idea of her skills. Though the kidnapping later reveals that Dot is capable of handling things on her own, she seems pleased to let her mother-in-law, Lauren Lamb, Jennifer Jason Leigh, wearing her snooty accent from the Coens' The Hudsucker Proxy, clean up the cop-tasing episode. She is prepared to fight back with an ice skate, a lighter, and a can of hairspray as her colorful background finally catches up to her kidnappers. Later, during a confrontation at a convenience shop near a petrol station, she devises a plan to get away from them. What's even more fascinating than Dot's skill at escaping such a hazardous situation is her resolve to act as though it never happened. Her incompetent husband Wayne had called the police while she was being held captive and enlisted his wealthy mother, who believes she will be held hostage for ransom money. Lauren responds angrily, "I don't know why they think I'd break the bank for some low-rent skirt my son knocked up." However, Dot acts normal when she gets home in the early hours and starts whisking the biscuit for her daughter Scotty's breakfast. She informs Wayne that she had left to get some clarity, and she doesn't even offer a theory as to why the cops discovered two distinct blood types on the floor, neither of which is her own. The definition of Minnesota nice, given at the opening of the episode, "A person is chipper and self-effacing, no matter how bad things get," relates to Dot's actions. That definition leaves out the possibility that Minnesota nice can also refer to the passive-aggressive anger that frequently lurks beneath the sweetness on the outside. However, that may be a different aspect of Dot that we will learn more about in the future. Despite her strong wish to reclaim the Jane Lundegaard-like role she had created for herself, she remains a mystery to everyone who knows her. She can, however, play the jovial Minnesotan for very long. The second episode of Fargo, Season 5, opens in North Dakota, with John Hamm's character Roy Tillman, on horseback, in front of a billboard for his re-election. He discusses the duties of men and women in marriage, the natural order of things, and his family's history as sheriffs in a voiceover. In reality, Tillman is speaking to a young couple seated in the booth across from him in a diner. The husband is grumpy, and the wife has a black eye. As the man is being choked by a deputy, Tillman keeps talking about the duties that spouses should play in marriage. Tillman slams the spouse with a hot cup of coffee when he doesn't like the lesson he's teaching him. After giving the wife some cash, Tillman instructs her to go home, prepare a supper, and take care of her husband. The couple leaves and Gator Tillman, Roy's son, enters. Gator works as a sheriff for Stark County. His father hears him say they missed her. Roy walks out into a barn and finds Old Munch waiting there. As it happens, Dot is the spouse of Roy Tillman. Roy discovered Dot's whereabouts and her fingerprints in the police database, so he dispatched Old Munch to go get her. Old Munch desires greater compensation for his suffering. Gator is told by Roy to pay Old Munch. Old Munch gets the best of Gator as he approaches from behind with a revolver drawn, breaks his arm, and then vanishes. Did you see any amusing allusions to the Coen brothers' 1996 film Fargo in this episode? Olmsted questions Dot and Wayne back in Scandia. Despite Olmsted's exhaustive list of evidence to the contrary, Dot is adamant that she was not abducted. Wayne advises Olmsted to get in touch with their attorney if she has any other queries. Lorraine and Danish are talking about the matter while Olmsted is interrogating Wayne and Dot. Lorraine thinks Dot is a scammer. As she heads to visit Dot, she tells Danish to go talk to Wayne. When Lorraine returns home, she's seated in Dot's kitchen so they can talk openly. Lorraine offers Dot money to leave Wayne and Scotty, laying everything out on the table. Dot maintains her Minnesota nice attitude at first, but she deviates when Lorraine calls her a con and makes it plain that she would stop Dot and Wayne from dating no matter what. Dot moves in towards Lorraine, her Minnesotan accent melting as she tells her that she has had to go through hell to get here and that she should go to bed with both eyes open because nobody takes what is rightfully hers in lives. Danish later makes a call to Lorraine at the dealership so she may talk to Wayne. Danish and Lorraine inform Wayne that Dot is either involved in another scam or was conspiring with the kidnappers. When a black automobile approaches Roy Tillman's home in North Dakota, he is relaxing in an improvised hot tub. He is here to be informed that he is the subject of an FBI investigation by Agent Meyer and Agent Guaquin. Tillman asserts that he is the law and will uphold his moral convictions. Tillman gets up, strips off, and carefully encircles his waist for the towel bearing his face on it. He exits the hot tub and turns to leave. Dot offers to Scotty that they work on a craft project after Lorraine leaves. It's not like the others, with Dot and Scotty taking the wires out of extension cords to create a makeshift electrical barrier that surrounds every window. They also attach the broken glass pieces to the exterior of the windows by breaking light bulbs. In the end, Dot sets up a massive sledgehammer to fall over the door upon pulling a cord. Wayne chooses to trust Dot's narrative, but he can't ignore the elephant in the room anymore when he gets home, sees the sledgehammer above the door, and discovers Dot preparing a shepherd's pie while Scotty hammers enormous nails into a baseball bat. He decides to believe Dot once more after she persuades him that her only worry is security. Olmsted visits Officer Farr, who remains hospitalized in North Dakota. They discuss the incident, and she wants to show him a picture of Dot so he can verify that she was the person that was with him at the gas station. But Gator Tillman appears just before she shows him the picture. In an attempt to find out what Farr knows, he interrupts their talk and accidentally removes the Dot photo before Olmsted can show it to Farr. Gator makes a stop at the gas and go on their way back to the Tillman property. Old Munch sneaks up on the other cop filling the truck while Gator is inside and slams a knife in his throat. Behind the truck, Gator discovers his friend dead and a cardboard sign that says, "You owe me," hidden behind the deputy's knife wound. New episodes of Fargo Season 5 premiere on FX every Tuesday. The following day, they can be watched on demand in the United States on Hulu. The season streams on Prime Video in the UK, with new episodes each Wednesday.